Hello there, welcome to another class. Let me wait the YouTube to show me what is going on. And sorry for this long time without class. I was kind of busy finishing an app. I'm gonna talk about it later on. I'm gonna make another video in the channel because I need some help to test it. Long time without class. Yeah, and I was helping some friends because they're like interview for new jobs and I was doing some mock interviews, so it was a good reason. And on top of that, my son moved to Sweden, and then I was kind of not with my best mental state, but it is good. So I'm gonna back to record class every day, and I try to at least do one question a day, so then we can keep moving. So thank you, sorry for this absent, and we are back. So today we'll solve the question 13. And it's a very simple one. It's just to really make sure we understand the if command. And of course, I'm always bring some important aspect of software engineer as well. So I want to make sure that on top of learning the base, you are prepared later on for the marketplace, and you go and you have the like the good practice like understanding. So the question is, read a letter and print if it's a consonant or vowel. So looks very simple. And like I said, we will learn things in the future that will make a lot of those exercises easier. For example, there is a quick way to ask, is this a vowel? Is this a consonant? So if someone is already a software engineer developer seeing this, with oh, this teacher is so bad, he could already, but we are not there yet. And I want to use those examples to learn basic things. It's like when you are learning something new, like you are learning a new sport. The coach will teach you the theoretical way to do stuff. Later on, when we get that, you're gonna move to a different move that you short a few steps. Then you can do something a little bit different, depending of the circumstances. So it's the same idea here. Okay, I'm not trying to show you all how much I know and all that and show the perfect thing, but we're gonna be like prepare the building blocks to have a very strong and solid like software engineer. So let's go. If we go to the design, this is a very simple question. Let me just clean this up. This was our last question. So reset the canvas. Let me move this here to the left side. So if this is our program right here, we'll have one input. That this input will be a letter. And we have two possible outputs. That this possible output will be consonant or vowel. Oh, let me just, I'm doubt how to write vowel is vowel, sorry. This. So one or other. So let me put this way here and, oh, sorry, I have to be one or other. So something you have to do in our program to do that. And as we learn, we have a perfect command for that thing. So we're gonna use the command if, and I'm gonna show you that we have to use our like intelligence to solve the problem in the simplest way possible. Because for example, if you're gonna think about this, we have like an alphabet, and what are the vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So we have like 5 vowels. All the other letters are consonants. So it's easier for me to ask if it's a vowel, because I only need to check like 5 cases, and else I just say it's a consonant. Do you agree? So it's better than to ask all the consonant to say it's a consonant and then say else is a vowel. So I'm pretty sure no one will go that path, but it's just an important point to make. So what you do, we're gonna make a console, write, and something like letter. Let's declare our variable could be like, let's put this string, letter will get console console.readline and this, and we can put that like little thing there to deal with the no option. And now that we have that letter, we're gonna ask, is the letter equals to A or letter equals or equals it like this, equals to, oh sorry, I have to fix this real quick. Because it's a string, I have to use double quotes. E or letter equals to E or letter equals to O or letter equal, oh, not or, come on, Joseph, what are you doing? Equals to O. Oh, again. So if that is the case, I can just write line and say is a vowel. Else, we can safely say is a consonant. All right. Makes sense, right? And then I'm gonna bring something else that some people like to write those like this. I personally like both. Of course, we learn a way better way to do that in the future, but I guess this is easier to read, is one of those. So remember, it's logic. Could be A or E or E or O or U. So look what happened. If we save and let's prepare to run this one. So we go to our entry point. And I hope some of you already thought about one thing that we need to deal with here. And you will realize why coding is kind of like very interesting. We have so many troubles. So I put a breakpoint, I run it. And then let's put the single case, A. So what happened? Letter is equal to A will be true. Remember, when we have O, if just one is true, it's already going to be true because as we are using the short secret one, we're not even going to evaluate the other ones. As soon as the compiler see, oh, this is true, move on. So what happened? We're going to print is a vowel, and that is right. So look how important it is to think about testing, because now let's do another test. I'm going to run again, and then let's put the letter like L. We can say this, and then is a consonant. Cool, right? So if you are doing an interview and you just do this, and someone else think about this, oh, wait, what if I run my program and then for some reason the user or whatever is give me the letter, type this, A. So what is going to happen? This is going to be false because we compare to the lowercase of vowels. And then we're going to print as a consonant. And then you have a bug. So this, like your customer can be losing money or the application is broken. So you're going to think, oh, there is a better way to do this is we can add here letter equals to A or equals to A, oops, or equals to A or E. So this will be one way to solve it. It's good because we can learn more about like writing those if statements. So something like this. And will this solve the problem? Yes, I think so. Oh, sorry, this has to be a day. So look at how much code we wrote. We put A, E, 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 O, O, all that. So we are compared with the lowercase and uppercase. So now when we run, we can put the letter in one of those case. For example, I can put like here O. So what is going to happen? This will be true, and then we print there. Okay? However, this is something that in this point in time is okay, is expect, because we don't know anything else. But someone could think, oh, wait, what if, so let's make this here and call method 1. An important thing, imagine that you are doing an interview, another candidate only use those, you come up with this as well. So then the test or the interview, you realize, oh, this guy is a little bit better because he pay attention to one details. Every time we talk about letters, we have to think about the case, uppercase, lowercase. So imagine that this is the method 1. So now let's think about this. Imagine that someone else thought, oh, I know something else that this guy does not know. So what I could do is here, I could say, well, letter will receive letter dot to upper. Oh, but you didn't told us yet. Yeah, I didn't. And for sure, I'm not going to show you everything that the language offers. We're going to see this one because we're going to have a class only for strings. So what I did here is I convert letter to upper, or could be to low. I could do any of them, to upper or to lower. And what I will do here now, I can safely only compare. Imagine that we did for to lower. Again, is maybe even easier to do, to lower. And then I can remove all this. Because look, now what I'm doing is, wherever letter the user type, I will convert that letter to a lowercase. And now I only need to compare that letter with lowercase. So this is method 2. So if you are decide between two candidates, one came with this, another one came with this, which one do you think is show you that he is a better engineer? That is another important point. Most of the time when you compare two candidates, we don't really know which one is better. Sometimes one has a way better resume and maybe is a better engineer, but the interviewer can only decide, they are training for that, based on what the interviewer or in the candidate showed during the interview. You cannot assume, oh, I know that this guy could build this. They cannot do that. Usually they don't. So you have to make sure that you show your best in the interview. Is that why sometimes we solve a problem and you think, oh, I nail it. But maybe someone else did in a way better way, or you thought about a lot of important things, but you didn't bother to ask the interview, oh, it's a letter. May I assume that this letter is uppercase, lowercase, or could be both? If the interviewer said, no, it's only uppercase or only lowercase, then you could do easier. Okay? Another way that you can do, and that is funny, as a software engineer, we don't need to remember all those things. Right now, I didn't prepare for this particular exercise and not going to do it. I know that probably there is a way that I can directly ask if letter is a vowel or something like that. Or I can try to maybe, let's get the first character and then is vowel, or let's try something like this. I don't remember exactly, but maybe sha dot is, do you see all this? Is ask, is letter, is lower. So ask is a letter or is a consonant. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if there is a vowel. Let's ask what you can do. I can use AI for that. Let's do it. Let's keep using because it's what thing here. So how how can I directly test if a string with just one character is a word or consonant? I know that I use some language that have that because in my career I use many different languages. So now I have that idea. Well, I know I can do it. Let's see if in C# is possible. In C#, pretty sure it's gonna have it somewhere. Let's see. And you should never feel bad because you don't remember stuff. That is why, it looks like C# does not have a direct way. So look, he's doing here kind of what we did. So there is no out, there is no API to do that directly. Yeah, so in C# does not. What he's doing here is something that we're going to learn. We're going to create a function for that, but no. So that's good. But I can ask here, I remember that in one of the program language I worked before, we had that. Can you check if Java script, Python, Scala, Kotlin, or Java has that? Just out of curiosity. So let's see. Maybe it's just my mind trick me. Let's see. Uh-oh. Yeah, I don't know where I got that from, but yeah, so it's good. So now we know that those languages they don't have. So this will be a very good solution. So method 3 here will not exist. My bad. And that is expected. I'm not here as a dictionary. So it is good because I'm showing you how to do stuff. Like we learned some better ways to do that later on. But this one is something that I thought we had some of language. Let me even this. Is there in language that has that? Let's see. Yeah, no, they're not. So never mind about that. So let's just go with this. Very important thing. You cannot underestimate this. Every time you have a question, make sure to ask question about what is the input type, what is the input like rules, because this is expected. The interview want to know if you are experienced or not to realize, well, my program will depend how the code is coming. In this case, we had to write some more code because we are comparing with lower and uppercase. In this other one, we are like writing less code. So this is easier to read, easier to maintain, to understand, because we are converting the letter to lowercase. So I guess we didn't test this case yet, and never trust a code that you write and you didn't test. So let's see what happened here. Let's put like L and write like consonant. And then here will be the same. And now let's run again. I remove this break. No, keep the breakpoint there. No, put here. And let's put now E, lowercase. So correctly set it as a vowel. And now let's run again. And now let's put I Oh, I said E because in Portuguese, I is E, so my bad. And what happened here is we're gonna say that as a vocal. Oh, another thing that just came here. The question says read a letter. In most of the case, we can assume that is a letter, but maybe we could ask, oh, what if we do this? And then imagine that the interviewer said, yeah, it has to be a letter, so don't worry about that. But if I come here and I put something like this, I put like a open bracket. So what happened is open bracket is not a vowel, so we assume that it's a consonant. So if you really want to have a third method here, we may use some of the APIs, something like this. We can test if, let's try this now. Let's go back to AI and see what about, let me put here like 3. What about checking if it is a letter? I want the method 3 to print not a letter if the input is not a letter. And here, like so as you can see here, like in the method 3, no, what he did is he checked if the length is 1, just in case I type something else. And then if is a letter. So now we can see that there is something already in the language called is a letter from char. We're going to learn about this later on. So I will copy this. I can copy everything already. And then I will put right here. So why the solution is a little bit better? Because it is smart enough. Let me remove all this extra space. Is smart enough to realize, whoa, we will learn about this later on, so don't get like scared. What we're doing here is we are getting function from char, and we're say get this letter as lower. Oh, sorry. Before that, we check, is the length of letter just 1, just in case I type more than 1 letter? And is that one position, the first position, a letter? If that is true, then I realize which letter is. Otherwise, I just say it's not a letter. So let's run the, I put a breakpoint here, is what we're going to check. I remove this one here. Oh, and let's go. Let me remove this guy from here. So let's type something like this, house. So definitely is not a letter. Look that all the other ones will fail, say, oh, it's a consonant. But it's not a consonant, it's not a letter. So this method, we are going beyond and check, is letter length just 1? We'll learn about this later on, so don't worry about this. And is letter the only character a letter? If that is true, we'll go in. And it's not, because this one failed. And then we're going to print, it's not a letter. Then let's run again. And let's put like P, capital P. So this is going to pass because it's a letter. The length is 1 because letter has just 1 letter there. And now we're going to convert that is letter to the character P. And then we're going to check is one of the vowels, because now when you are inside this if, we are sure that is a letter. Now we can just, and is a lowercase letter. So we just need to compare to one of those. If that is true, we're going to print vowel. If it's not, we print consonant. Okay, now let's run again and let's put one vowel. Right. O. we go there and is a letter. We'll check is one of, we convert to a char and lowercase, and then we compare to one of the letter, the vowels is true, then we print it. So look, this one here is just like, we can write it this way. I think it's better to just read it. All depends. Some people prefer this way because you can see all the vowels. Some people prefer to have just one line. There is a better way to write this in just one line. We're going to learn later on, but not don't worry. So it's up to you. I'll keep this one. I guess it's easy enough to read. So you can see A, E, I, O, U. So now imagine that you have three candidates. The first one came with the solution. The second one came with the solution. Both are okay if you are told that, oh, is a letter for sure. They will be in trouble if not, okay? And then the third one is way better because then you just verify, oh, what if the input is not just a single letter, it's symbol, letter, or something like that. So this is a more product ready program. And usually when you get like an invitation to do a code interview, you're gonna receive material for training. And they're gonna tell you this, oh, do you know, we want your best. Make sure that your code is production ready. We know that is not always the case, but you have to come with a solution that you show them that you pay attention to details. You just don't just read and type code. You ask questions, oh, can I assume that is a letter? If they say no, I said, okay, cool. So then I have to do something like this. If you don't remember exactly how to test, it's okay. During the interview, you can say, oh, I don't remember exactly in C# how we do this. If the interviewer knows, I can tell you. If not, you can say, oh, you can Google it. Or, okay, just put a comment there that you are checking if it's a letter. Cool? Well, thank you for watching this class. See you next one. Bye. Comment there that you are checking if it's a letter. Cool? Well, thank you for watching this class. See you next one.